very much favoring TSpirit, but this is a Spirit that do not look good in game ones, and or maybe with a pre-horn fight could help out.
Mira.
It's just gonna...
Not the one you want to put on the front lines. I mean, yeah, of course they got vision.
The ward.
Sure, but they could just get rid of it, surely. Maybe look to keep it just for this this bounty rune and then deny it, but that's crazy just to put a Skywrath mage on the front lines. Maybe the bat, but
30 seconds to battle.
I don't know what Medusa did to get the tip, but whatever.
Some kind of a joke, maybe.
So even with the first blood going Hydra's way, we've seen Spirit look very rough in game ones. Do we feel like they at least have a lineup to excel with?
On Hydra, sorry, or Spirit?
So on Spirit, because game one's no bueno for Spirit. But what about this game one?
The battle begins.
To me, it's going to be dependent on, like, I feel like this lane should go fine enough for Kami. I say that, but he's getting a little bit of the business right now. Even the blood grenade being popped to potentially chase him down. Happy. Not really going to give too much value out of his Nature's Attendants, of course.
But he's dead. Yeah. Blood right up soon.
See ya.
No way.
Don't even look at him. Just turn away, run back to the lane. They were even able to get the deny off. Sorry, not the deny, the D ward off. So even more experience going over to Mira. They're already level 1.5 on this Skywrath mage. So he is going to be pumping in a lot of harassment into this Medusa. She's at least got the magic wand already completed, so plenty of stats for herself, but isn't really the easiest lane to go up into. The thing that I was going to be talking about was, I feel like this top lane, speaking of top, by the way, Lil, is he going to get a solo kill onto Medusa? Don't walk into it, you'll still kill him anyway. One more.
Ooh. Okay, far out.
This is what I wanted to happen.
Getting it in the end.
What Lil is doing right now is what I wanted to happen. You just to be able to get that pull off. Again, it's harder to do now that the small camp is so close to the lane, but he doesn't even need to use the sentry. He just blocks it off for long enough so that, you know, there's no spin available. Tide knows this. That's why he's going in so deep. Maybe a bit too deep. What the? No crack and
yeah,
yeah,
I don't know.
That is way too deep. All right. Well, mistakes like that really don't make things very easy, and kind of makes up for the fact that Medusa did die that first time in the lane up on the top side. Even just getting the half pull off, very nicely done. So this lane is going to be in a pretty rough spot once it does push back towards TSpirit.
Happy's dead too. What is Mira's gonna die as well? What is going on? This is a wild start.
I think it's just on Mira getting that early experience, right? He was level 1.5 before they were level anything on HYDRA, and he used all of his mana. He went all out, just that early point into the Arcane Bolt and just spammed. He was on basically 0 mana by the time he died, so he's very happy to be able to make that trade. But yeah, it's just about getting Cloud into... I'm not sure if the Boots of Speed is going to be enough to provide him safety, but to get into at least that Ring of Health as he's looking to build into the Meteor Hammer. I really don't hate this either, just to give them another way to look to create a little bit of extra space. Don't put everything onto Happy to be able to do it on the Enchantress. It is still all the Medusa. I guess they're feeling that Kami hasn't really been countered by any of their picks so far. It's like, is Juggernaut considering going into a Diffusal eventually? Can skill it up into the Disperser, I guess, later on, but none of these other heroes really want to do it.
I mean, this is a Toro Juggernaut, though. Whatever the choice is going to be for him. Actually, hold that thought, because Medusa is going to give another kill all over to HYDRA. So, I mean, this is a very scary setup if Medusa's ever caught out of position like we've seen a couple times now. But if it's Spirit getting aggressive, then the flurry of spells they have...
Like, all these stats that he's got, this Techies hero, just crown, 3 branches, a circlet, and he's hitting for 75 damage from the longest range in the game. That's what you call that.
Yeah. He's going to go double crown.
Yep.
So is this... Atos. Are we going Atos? Okay.
Could be just to build into the Solar Crest, and it's just, you know, decent stats. Maybe even... hold on a second. He's getting a little bit of the business as well as the Frost Shield comes out onto the top side, but that's the downside of going in onto a Techies, right? is that you can always just make that jump away unless you've got that Sinister Gaze to be able to interrupt it mid-jump.
You probably go 1-1-1 build, yeah, for Medusa, because it's very easy to be able to get in range and stop the jump away. Like, it's going to be obvious, it's not difficult to time. So would you like to see that instead of a second point in blast?
I think it depends. Like, if it might just be a decision of, all right, we'll go on Cloud instead, but with the farm that he's picking up, he's already got the Ring of Health. He might choose to go into the Boots of Speed as his next item, just to, again, be able to position himself.
Man, Mirror and Collapse have so much damage between the two. Now, Kami actually... Hang on a second. Deuce is going to get chased down as well with a big stick. Kami. Hey, okay, repairs a lot of the damage. Mirror's still trying to be a bit of a nuisance. Another round of the Blood Rite as well. They might still be up... Dude, it still will always amaze me at how much damage Deuce takes when the mana is completely gone. Half health evaporates from the Blood Rite, but it means Collapse has to go deep under the tower. So he's in some trouble. Stick not enough, as Happy does get some revenge, but I'm sure Spirit more than okay with the exchange with the second death now for Kami.
Collapse dominating a lane. Tell me something new. He's 3-1-1 right now. Dusa already dying that a couple of times, and he needs to get off to this good start if they're going to provide that extra level of control. He's actually going into an Atos for himself. So again, if you're playing this off-lane style, probably can't get away with just going for like the Mjolnir sort of style. And of course, you can still look to scale into a Glypnir later on if he feels like he needs that extra control and damage. Right now, it's just about enabling the Skywrath Mage because of the good start that he and Mira have had. Like 5.5 minutes, level 4 and a bit on Skywrath Mage. Very happy with that.
And real quick before we get any more action in the side lanes, both Warwick and Lyle, they're both having a really good time. 30-10 compared to the 30-9. It is pretty much even, it looks like, with the net worth. Just a slight advantage for Lyle. I think about 100, nothing too crazy. This is really where it might be able to turn the tide. So we've got level 6 coming up shortly and the first power rune spawn. It's going to be top though for Lil. So the Bat Rider, no Warwick's going to be able to snag that one.
Go for a bit of a kill attempt onto Vavoshka.
Nice,
there's
very
that
nice.
Gaze.
Although still not easy to chase down.
That haze.
Ace Rune still got about a quarter duration left. Lyle's been able to stack up some of the sticky, but now it gets purged off and...
Lil so annoying.
Yeah, okay.
Lil and Lyle, iconic duo. Yeah, 80 damage, by the way, on this Techies. Just doing more and more to consistently harass in the lane. I was almost wondering if they might look to go for a bit of a dive onto the Ember Spirit, because he was not yet level 6 prior to all of that happening, but with all the space being created by Lil, he's able to get into it, and now you're not really as concerned about Bat Rider going for that kill as down bottom. Kami, oh no, they've got the lasso available. They're going to be able to kill him. No level 6 from Kami.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
That's what you get.
Warwick should be able to get Medusa as well.
Has been killed.
Lich is going to end up going down.
middle
Yatori
tower
wanted
is under
actually to
attack.
pop the Omni Slash, but Warwick, he's got a remnant to be able to get out. So first Omni off the game, Yatori not able to get a kill.
Was never really going to get any use out of it in this lane, I don't think, so it's worth going for it just to see if he was a little slow on the fingers, perhaps, with going for those fire remnants. But yeah, Warwick able to get back to safety. Medusa had like probably the best first like 2 or 3 waves despite giving up that early kill, but she has really fallen behind, just forced all the way back to the base, even a smoke being bought to be able to get her out to this lane a little bit faster after that TP coming in from Lyle. And, you know, we were talking about how important it was for TSpirit to make sure that Lyle was enabled because of the relatively rough start that he's had to some of these previous series. Not this time around. He's doing a nice job.
They've got some stacks as well to be able to buff up his farm, so Route to Travel is going to be at a great timing. I think there's no stack actually at the Ancients, just a couple of the hard camp for him, but he might even be able to get a kill as well, especially with Mira wrapping through the river. Warwick wants something else to say about it though. Looks like it might be an exchange of supports. for 1-for-1. Both mid laners going to be able to secure the kill. Nice injection of gold for them.
You'd say the most important thing though is Lyle getting that kill so that he gets that really early boots of travel, right? Because it's a pretty simple formula. Collapse holding on to the 1 point right now, so he wants that rupture available just to be able to immediately go on to Kami. Might even look to bait out another TP from him as well. Just use the rupture in onto the Medusa, try and get it a TP out, bots in on the Batrider, get the kill. Slow down the farming.
Speaking about Collapse, you mentioned before, like, kind of offlane Bloodseekers, their item build, we don't really see a lot of the Maelstrom. Would you kind of prefer it though this game? Like, he's top net worth. It feels like he's got a great opportunity just to be able to scale if he does go for this steroid.
You can still scale though. I think the more important thing is just preventing the Medusa from scaling. And you've already got the Batrider having a good game to enable that. But Atos plus Skywrath Mage Mystic Flare, that's going to do a similar sort of thing, right? So you'll get a few kills, you'll slow down the Medusa, and then you can still go into the Glypnir as well to be able to assist with your own scaling.
Okay. Mid lane, well, they're actually even going to try and TP Collapse in. Rupture, of course, is at the ready. Little nice reaction, though. Not going to be fast enough, however. Lyle's going to be able to step in with the lasso used, but that is a worthwhile exchange for HYDRA. You're able to get the tower and sacrifice the life of Lil.
I mean, I really feel like they had this big opening to be able to make a play onto Kami on this bottom side, but in the meantime, he's able to go back to the jungle. Again, use the dire advantage when playing this Medusa with the mana regen from the Well-Wishers debuff from that bottom line of creeps, and then just shoves the lane back in, walks back out, farms. He's at least got this Observer Ward to be able to play around with this time that's stayed up and hasn't quite yet been dewarded, despite the fact that Mira's got a sentry close by. What happened with the Wisdom runes as well? Collapse got one, and Mira got the other. Okay, so nicely done for TSpirit. I'm a little surprised that Mira is still level 6 off the back of all of that happening, though. You know, he was 4.5 at 5.5 minutes in, and 2 Wisdom runes, and he's still not 6. So maybe just look to soak up a little bit of this ancient XP. Might just be sitting in this creep wave as well.
Well, top lane. Omni Slash used for Yutoro. Quick timing out of the Blade Fury, but he doesn't have enough mana to be able to TP out, so as soon as the Blade Fury expires, they're going to be able to catch up to him with ease. Warwick wants a healing ward as well, plus 75. Thank you very much.
It's important that Lyle got all of those stacks for sure, but again, it doesn't really synergize together perfectly. You know, going into the Boots of Travel and then spending the next couple of minutes farming, he could be, you know, looking to make a kill happen. Collapse down here on the bot side. He's had the Rupture skilled up, but hasn't actually gotten too much use out of it just at this point. And you know that the Medusa is farming relatively close by. Unfortunately for Kami, the Observer Ward just about to expire. Not before he sees Collapse, though, walking on towards him. But you just see Lyle instantly makes his way down. Going to make the jump. Stone Gaze doesn't have a point in it.
Okay, and that might be life or death now for Kami. They're actually going to try and TP up, but Collapse does has the damage to be able to secure the kill.
No Rupture. Has Collapse got Atos coming out? No, 650 gold away. So I'm not sure if Mira's going to be able to do all that much down in this lane. Might be better served towards just picking up a little bit of his own farm for mid. Yeah, I'll just take a bounty route for now, but yeah, it's around that Batrider and the Bloodseeker that he really wants to make a lot of this action happen. And we've been speaking a lot about Spirit. Happy, he's doing a decent job up on this top side as well, right? He's now got the Wild Wing Ripper to be able to play around with, both good for pushing as well as in a lot of these team fights, right? Just to be able to get away from the Mystic Flare, get away from the Omni Slash, even just a Batrider trying to chase you.
Yeah. Do we feel like there's any big winners or losers at this stage of the game? Because 9 to 10 kill count, 1,000 net worth lead for Spirit. Taking a look at the net worth, like it's very, very even. But were you expecting some people to have a better time than others?
I was expecting them to maybe put a little bit even more emphasis onto shutting down the Medusa, but to be fair, like, you don't quite have this first, like, active item on Collapse. He's just got enough gold to buy the Atos now, so maybe now is the time that they just flick the switch and say, all right, time to just go this full-on gang style.
Where are you going?
Warwick. It's going to be HYDRA that look to try and flip the switch first. They'll get the kill. Tower's going to go down. Spirit, they will be able to...
Before the 14-minute mark, so Wisdom Room potentially opened up for the team. Whenever you're playing against a Bat Rider, you know how capable he is of taking a bunch of these stacks. So they're just scouting out, seeing if there are any Ancients available. And look at Lil, even just cutting off every single entrance to this area with those proximity mines, so that you're always going to know, first and foremost, even if there's like a smoke attempt into it. Look at Mira. He might just be walking up into his own death in a second. Ooh.
Can they fight this though? It's just Cloud now. Happy's starting to move over, but it looks like with 4 heroes on Spirit, at least be able to take the Wisdom Rune away. But again, that's a lot of heroes that aren't farming. You see on the opposite side of the map, Kami bring up a stack of the Ancients, Wisdom Rune if he wants to take it. He's closing on the Mantis Star, Yutora as well. Oh, he's just free farming with the Battle Fury. Looks like he too is going to be going for a... Actually, it's Diffusal queued up. Let's see what he wants to go for. I think there's even Diffusal, Sanchi Yasha. So let's see actually what that second item is going to be after the Battle Fury.
Plenty of attack speed is really what you want, right? Just, you kind of get that effect with the Wind Ranger, of course, going up against the Medusa. But if you could just have Omni Slash doing a similar sort of job, why not? Even Collapse, looking to go into the Solar Crest, pump up some attack speed even more potentially.
Speaking of Collapse, Smoke's gonna pop work.
Nicely done.
Pretty good timing out of the Invis. Gonna be able to change him up and instant remnant away.
Happy's doing a great job cutting these waves as well, isn't he? Like just using the Centaur Conqueror to be able to keep mid shoved away from the tower. They haven't lost a single tier 1, and that's a huge plus for this Dusa lineup.
Never refuse gold.
I mean, Grandmaster Enchantress, Happy one of his best heroes, and with all the farm that he's been able to get from shoving up the lanes thanks to his creeps, I mean, he's gonna try and scale with this Hurricane Pike queued up.
Feels pretty nice, you know, going up against these heroes that are consistently trying to run at you, even just providing a little bit of save. He can get it from his creeps, but
he's in a lot of trouble now. No one said to cancel the TP, so instant blow up, rupture used, and an easy escape for the Ember.
Kami's recovering his net worth. Like I'm sure he sees the build that Juggernaut's looking to go into. You know, as soon as he sees that Blade of Alacrity, he might assume that that Diffusal Blade is coming, and it is on the courier right now. So straight Battle Fury for him, straight Butterfly for the Medusa, wanting to avoid as many of those right clicks as possible, make sure that his mana is A-okay.
A lot of back and forth, like trades here and there. One pick off for a double kill, but no real big team fight just yet. Either side not feeling strong enough to be able to group as 5. Maybe they're going to think about Happy mid lane as Collapse. The Atos being able to set up. A little bit too late with the fourth though from Mira. Now as a result, he steps over the river and Lil's able to jump in. Another kill for Warwick as well. 6-0-1. This is about to be a BKB completed, it looks like, for him, and they're ready to go. Smoke is full.
Top tower is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, no Rupture available for a little bit. No Mystic Flare, I think, is the bigger one. Yeah, he just wants to make sure that he's not going to get burst down completely when he goes for this jump, as, well, they'll take anything right now just to take attention away. Tumbler's Toy on Tumbler's Toy, a little bit cute with that sort of play. Happy. He has to be careful. Can he get the D-Ward off at least before his death? Looks like he will, but it's just more space away from the Medusa, right? I think once Kami gets into that Butterfly, he's going to be happy to start fighting. He could just choose to go into like a Skadi as well. Feels pretty good this game against the Jug Spin, against some of the lifesteal coming through from Collapse as well, against a ranged hero and Lyle, and even just reducing the attack speed. A lot of people talk about the movement speed that it allows you to just stand and man fight, but at 60 attack speed reduction when you're going up against a Diffusal Blade feels really good too.
Yep. Definitely does. Itoro's already got an MKB queued up even before seeing the Deuce's item, so well aware. I mean, that's going to be later on in his build, but I imagine for Kami, once he gets his Butterfly, it's going to be time for him to group up with the boys and start running down objectives. That's definitely the power of the Medusa. You've got a very strong double item timing over some of the other carries. Once again, Happy. This time, Lyle's actually going to be forced to use the lasso. So it looks like another easy kill. They're going to instantly be able to run away on the retreat. Lyle gets an Arcane Rune, so they might look to go again if they can feed some mana over to Lyle. Another Mango. Dude, he just got like triple mangoes given to him. So yeah, they're ready to go.
find a quick pick-off, but where is that initiation going to come from is my big question. Collapse not quite playing with him just yet. He's as far away as possible.
Dude, Lil, what? Alright, what's going on inside the jungle, Cloud? Force use the defensive Ravage. He's got Warwick to play with. In fact, the Ravage can help them get the kill onto Lala's. Even Kami looking to step in. Yutori's even going to want to get involved as well. With the Stone Gaze activated, Kami's going to send TSpirit over the right side. Perhaps he wants something else to say about it though. Ruptures at the ready. Don't really have that lasso to be able to follow up. It's a great cliff fort though to give them the information required. Warwick though, to Remnant over the top of the chains, connects onto one, but Warwick's in some danger now. He's got the BKB. He's going to be able to use it defensively. Slide as well to mitigate some of the damage. Yutori can't stand his ground with Kami nearby. There's going to be no one to be able to pump in the damage into the ruptured target, so Spirit need to try and disengage as best as they can with the horn sounded. They're going to be able to get out, but two heroes are the casualty of war.
Happy's getting a lot of damage off in these fights is all I gotta say. You know, he's starting to scale as well. Just the one point in the nature's attendance, but holding on to things like the Pupil's Gift, getting all of those stats from the Dragonlance as well, really starting to benefit him. And you know, isn't exactly anyone outside of this Batrider that's able to find that jump in onto the backlines. I think from HYDRA's perspective, to me, it's all on Warwick and Happy. They have been playing so well this game so far. Warwick just knowing how to play on the edge, right? Multiple times being away, realizing the relative lack of stuns that Spirit have to play around. Not a single death just yet. Happy making so much space as well. Might pay for it this time.
But he does have some points with him. Although TSpirit, even with them taking fight on their side of the map, they're even going to be able to bring the numbers just in case. But the lasso use along with the Mystic Flare gets the kill onto Kami. That's the big one they were looking for, to be able to slow down Medusa's game. 5th death for Kami. 20 minutes in. That's crazy to see him still in the position he is in regards to the net worth. But it looks like Spirit, they're going to be able to add another one to the tally. The Collapse catches up to Happy, and they can now maybe chain this into a tower if they want to. Looks like they're maybe go for mid though.
Might just be mid, yeah. I mean, they don't really have the greatest tower taking lineup, right? I mean, that was just Kami perhaps getting a little bit too excited with how well his team has been playing around him. Doesn't quite have the Butterfly picked up yet, so was subject to a lot of that mana burn coming through from the Juggernaut. Really good use of the lasso as well before he was able to get off that full 20 magic wand charge. Probably wouldn't be able to survive off the back of that.
For the twins.
And that's the sort of stuff that, for Warwick and Happy, again, they've still been doing such an amazing job at creating space for this Medusa, but you got to pay it back. You got to make sure that you're not giving your life up for free before you hit that big item timing, and he is going the Skadi straight after the Talisman of Evasion. It makes a lot of sense, right? Just to be able to not only provide a little bit more potential to just standard man fight, but it's effectively like a huge protective item for yourself because of what you do to the Diffusal Blade too. You can see instantly Yatoro with that MKB queued up wants to get into the Swift Slash as well, so just more stuff that's just going to go whack, whack, whack with the damage, with the Diffusal Blade, get rid of as much of that mana pool on the Medusa as possible. He's going to be given over the Solar Crest every single time that he looks to make an aggressive move forward. Might even just Blood Rage the Juggernaut as well when they go for those attempts.
And they want to force a fight that they know that multiple heroes are down bottom from HYDRA with this deep Observe Ward inside the jungle.
They don't have high ground ready either. Yeah, even just using the Skeleton Warrior, it's got 5 seconds left until it pops, but they don't even move it on into the pit. Once again, Kami on the front lines. This time he has the Butterfly though.
Toro. It's going to be the first point of contact with the Stone Gaze used. It's an early ultimate out of the Medusa, but the Blade Fury's going to expire shortly. Toro. Look at the tree line. Turns with it on this as well. It's a lot of damage on the Kami to start the fight, but the Medusa's in trouble. But the Mystic Snake gets plenty of mana back. Kami's okay. Another turnaround. They can rip apart TSpirit. It's a 2 for 3. But with Warwick still alive, they can close the distance. Mirror, though, great read of the TP out. He'll just be able to escape inside the tree line, but nonetheless, it's going to be HYDRA that come out on top of the fight by Roche.
It was a good use of the Ravage, even better BKB pops by Lyle, just quick fingers to be able to make sure that you still got off the majority of that drag. But like you mentioned, the Mystic Snake just so grouped up, so many heroes hit by a bunch of these AoE spells in the team fight, and I don't think we saw a Chain Frost. That might have just been the difference maker. Even just for the attack speed slow, let alone the damage.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They'll be able to, even without their Medusa, take that Roshan for themselves, give Warwick even more potential to be able to play on the front lines here.
And that was a fight, unfortunately for them, where they didn't have the... They didn't have the Rupture into Lasso combo, which, again, is something that we brought up in the draft, is just an easy combo to execute for Spirit, but... It was great reaction. I mean, you just instant pop the Stone Gaze, chase down the Juggernaut. You saw Spirit, they were in shambles from there. Their formation kind of broken, and now you're given the Aegis to probably the standout player for HYDRA so far in this game one. Warwick 8-0-4, and now he's got a second life to work with.
And they're wanting to scale too. I mean, Happy, he's nearly got the Hurricane Pike for himself going into the Aghanim Scepter, because why not, you know, just to be able to dish out even more damage in a lot of these team fights. Lotus Orb, great pickup coming from Cloud, providing a ton of protection against the Silence from the Skywrath Mage, to be able to stop the Sinister Gaze, Omni Slash, Lasso, Rupture. Feels like an amazing game for it, and honestly, it's pretty rare that you see both a Lotus and a Lincoln Sphere, but I really wouldn't hate to see Cloud go that after he's picked up the pipe as well. Still was able to land that good Ravage even without the Blink Dagger as well on this Tidehunter, so he's playing a solid game too.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to ask you. Do you feel like it's needed for a Blink this game on the Tidehunter, or you've maybe got the Ember to be the one to start, or you feel like Spirit is just going to be running to a Tide where it doesn't need the Blink?
Well, they weren't really running into him that time, right? They popped everything on Kami to be able to start with, but didn't actually get the kill. So, you know, if you're expending things like the Rupture, that's, you know, not stopping a Tidehunter from running in. He was just able to waltz on in. Might have got force-staffed by the Enchantress just to be able to be in that right position instantly, but, you know, it's all about the team play for me.
The game does get much easier now for Spirit, is actually loyal. To collapse, being a bit of a nuisance, but he's got some backup that's close to the T2 tower. Mira Miposhka going to look to try and help out with the Chain Frost along with the Ice Spire. Miposhka doesn't get too lucky with the bounces. Somehow Lil is still alive. Ducks into the trees. The Techies okay low. And
he's hungry.
BKB just for a Techies.
He doesn't even get him.
No, that's not the call. And like you said, Lil doesn't even die. Now, Lyle, there's not going to be a continued chase down. Warwick thinks otherwise. They want some objectives instead. They're not even going to waste their time with just a measly Batrider.
Got to be careful as well. They do have the glyph, but okay, they're going to commit to popping it. It's a little bit scary. Of course, there will be the reset on it as well with this siege creep lane, but I mean, this is a Medusa that's nearly got into that Skadi, and then she can, as Kami has queued up, just go that full-on damage route. It's actually opted to go into the Blink Dagger next, potentially on Cloud, feeling like maybe when it is time for that siege up into the high ground, you can't run the risk of just putting a Medusa on the front lines, even with a Lasso available. Sorry, with a Lotus Orb for the Lasso. It is a very dangerous place for someone to be going up into, you know, up against Batrider, Mag, Tusk, these sorts of heroes where repositioning is king. Gotta say as well, I haven't really felt... Okay, they'll take it. I think that's the MKB finished as well for the Jug.
Yep.
Haven't really felt too much of Collapse's presence this game, you know? Like, his item build has been a little janky for what his like actual objectives have been at various stages of the game. I like the fact that he's gone the Halberd. You know, the Medusa at this point doesn't have the BKB picked up, both to protect from the defusal as well as, you know, of course, stop that disarm from coming through. But I just feel like, you know, he's kind of in two minds. Does he want to scale? Does he want to play with the rest of his team? If so, the Batrider rotations didn't really come at the same time. You know, it's just a little awkward, you know?
Yeah, the Solar Crest is actually something I wanted to bring up because they've got two Solar Crests in Spirit. And I was going to ask you earlier, like, if you feel like that is a bit of a mistake with Mira and Collapse both having one.
I mean, I think it gives good value. I was talking about before, like, you just want to pump as much attack speed into this Juggernaut as possible, right? So, if you could use one on the Jug plus the Blood Rage, Lyle, it'll be fine. plus you use the other Solar Crest on the actual enemy target, so they're, you know, obviously have less armor to be able to play around with. You can burst through someone, and they don't exactly have any saves just yet on HYDRA. You know, it's going to be around...
Which is the big thing.
They got the Lotus on the Tide. That's the big thing, right? So Cloud, his positioning with being able to find the Lotus onto the right hero. Just look at him. He's standing right behind the Medusa, making sure there's no way that he's going to be out of range to be able to cast this one if Lyle did go for, like, some sort of lasso play.
Man, someone else is going to have to TP bottom. It's actually going to be Kami. And with the Medusa bottom, you take a fight.
Oh, he got it.
Stone Gaze used to actually cancel Yatoro's TP. Oh, no, Yatoro. Well, at least it's just happy. Never mind, it's not an at least. You can't even compare it. Yatoro for an Enchantress. That's not even worth it at all. Beautifully done from Kami. I was going to say, like, Yatoro, big brain plays, taking T3 tower. He shoved the Ember back because he attempted to try and defend by himself, but Kami Stone Gaze there. They get a big kill onto the person on top of the net worth.
How long was left on that TP as well? Because, you know, it takes 3 seconds to TP, takes 3 seconds to TP out, and only takes 2 seconds for the Stone Gaze to turn into stone, so it would have been a split-second sort of thing.
So back onto the Bloodseeker, like we spoke about in the draft, at least for Collapse, he'll still have value this game. No matter what, you've got Lasso, Interrupture, but we're yet to see it, man. Like, you've even gone Blink as well on low. They're just... We're seeing it. It's unfortunate. There's been a couple of occasions where they're using these spells on separate sides of the map, and once a fight breaks out, then they're both on cooldown. So if we can see them together at this potential fight, it could be a real big issue for one person in particular on HYDRA.
I don't think the two of them is enough, though. They need the Juggernaut alive, and that's why HYDRA are trying to take away as much of this map while they can, just before the 30-minute mark. So they could, even with taking this tier 2 tower, open up a future Tormentor for them to be able to steal away.
Bottom tower has fallen.
But yeah, just Kami not having that Stone Gaze available meant that maybe he was going to be vulnerable for a little bit of time, and he is going into that BKB afterwards, right? So even if the Lotuses aren't perfectly on point, you still will be able to protect some of your mana unless the chain lockdown is absolutely perfect coming through from TSpirit. Talk about the value of the Lincolns and the Lotus. Warwick, his next item, even though he's already got the BKB, he's got plenty of damage output with that Maelstrom, with the Orb of Corrosion, Aghanim Scepter. What's the shard status like right now for HYDRA? Just the one on the Techies from that Tormentor they took previously, but he does have an Aghanim Scepter as well, so, you know, maybe could look to be a little bit clever on Lil. Let's see what he gets at like the 37-minute mark. If he maybe gets a ninja gear, looks to set up a minefield sign kind of like behind where they're looking to siege, so that if they go for this lasso play, you're actually having to drag them through a minefield or something crazy like that. You just see
how Lil's going to be able to...
He just set it up next to where they've got this this ward on the high ground on the bottom side. So if anyone comes up to D ward, they'll know about it.
What a timing out of the BKB though from Kami, because this is now the big fight pretty much for the status of this game. Because you've got double halberd, so you were hoping to just completely avoid Kami inside the fights, but now with BKB, as long as he gets it off before a halberd, that's going to be 8 seconds, 9 seconds, where you can right click for free, and this is really the big fight. This is the one that could potentially give Spirit the lead or HYDRA the lead.
And they got the Blink Dagger on the Tide Hunter as well. Hasn't yet been revealed, so it will be that surprise as Lyle just looking to get a little bit of information, but with the Medusa illusion inside the pit, they would have seen that that sticky napalm coming through. Even just the proximity mine as well, giving a little bit of information. So, well, actually, it's a chain movement towards this mid lane. Maybe to try and keep this one pushed out. I mean, DD's important, but do you just smoke and, yeah, go straight back bottom? Okay. Again, just feeling like that is the importance of that fight. Yatoro shoving the lane in, so there's a little bit less information for them to be able to play around with. Creeps providing a lot of that, but now they can look to put themselves up onto that high ground, at least get rid of the proximity mine.
Man, Yatoro's really split for the team, and Cloud, he's going to find an opening for the Ravage. They don't have the damage though to get rid of Collapse. Turns with the BKB the Rupture, targeting down Warwick.
Lotus though.
Try to take Kami out of the equation, but the man is completely gone. Kami's in some trouble. Yatoro standing strong, deals the damage, and that's going to be enough. Finally, TSpirit able to come out on top, and that is all thanks thanks to your Toro's Juggernaut. The Crips raining down the damage. Now Warwick's in some trouble as well. No mana, soon to be no health. He's got a BKB, but he has no TP. They'll catch up to him inside the tree line, giving your Toro an ultra kill. And in the end, it's a full wipe, and Spirit, they can now reap the rewards. Roche's ults.
Of course, it's important that your Toro gets that jump there, but Ravage not perfectly on point. It's the Solar Crests though, right? They just gave them over to the Juggernaut. I'm pretty sure even the Blood Rage as well from Collapse just onto that Jug. So he was hitting like Super Saiyan mode, basically, just ripping through that Deuce's mana pool. I actually had Kami clicked in that fight, and he was spamming that bottle just for, you know, the extra 10 mana that it might provide between hits, but he was just attacking way too fast for it to even matter.
Man, that is just a huge fight for Spirit. All of a sudden, the net worth lead's blown out. 11,000, couple of bounty runes even picked up from Lowell. It's Toro 24 3/4. Always has that extra talent to be able to work with. He's a gigantic issue as the game goes on, and your Toro Juggernaut so far in this summer too, a 3 from 3, 100%. He's been spamming it in pods, one of the best Juggernauts out there, and he's trying to put the team on the back. He is alone right now, though. Just 3 heroes in HYDRA.
Just seeing if there's any value as well from the disperser for yourself or teammates. Means that you don't necessarily need to use the spin if you get Searing Chained, for example. Just with that active, but of course you'd love to just continue to slow down this Medusa as much as possible.
Radiant's middle tower has
I feel like the Lotus came just a split second too late as well from the Tidehunter. You can afford to use it preemptively, especially around those big fights, as they make a smoke happen, but got to deal with this creep wave first.
Yeah, they saw Lyle TP top, so they wanted to catch out a straggler, but we'll see with post under the proximity mine. I mean, at least they're able to get something. There'll be a 4-on-5 against the Ages. Still more. No way. No way. I mean, that's something, though. That's a BKB. Like, you weren't supposed to throw that out. Now you're Toro. Wait, you're Toro, too. Omni/Slash used defensively. Cloud's going to jump in and take the damage, but Cloud as well is down to a 3rd health. Ravage comes out at the last second. They're going to try and do it.
Medusa's out of mana.
Toro gets the blade free off. They turn their attention over to the Medusa, just slashing away everyone's health pool. No one can stand strong against the Juggernaut, as once again your Toro has something else to say inside these team fights. He goes untouched.
You know, it's certainly not... Oh, look at the damage from the Techies relative to the Juggernaut, just fighting around that minefield sign. But you don't traditionally view this Juggernaut as like the hyper carry, but when you've got someone that already has one of the best base attack times in the entire game, and you buff them up with all of this extra attack speed against a Medusa that gets picked off. I mean, the blink in from the Tidehunter was just to soak up a few of those Omni/Slash hits because of how fast Juggernaut's hitting. And he's level 26 as well, so he's got the extra second on the Omni/Slash duration, and man, he is just being fed through everything by the rest of his team. All that attack speed, he's even got into the moon shard for himself too. I want to see him eat an Aghanim's Blessing next, if the game even goes that long.
That might not with the fights we've seen from HYDRA. Game 1 has been their bane. Not this game though. It's all Spirit now to potentially close this out. 23,000 net worth lead. Look at the 2-2-2 collapses. What's your brother doing? They're able to get the kill. Meanwhile, Lyle finds an opening for the jump on the Happy. A 1-for-1. But it's a call for support. It's Warwick.
Pop the BKB.
The option now not available. Warwick wants to try and get some work done, but like you said, it's a BKB, and we'll be able to get nothing out of it.
They don't really need to go right now, right? Like the Bloodseeker about to come back. They can look to just put this triangle of wards down to prevent anyone from leaving the base, and look to potentially get some of these tier 4 neutral items as well. Of course, the 30 attack speed as well from the Mindbreaker. This is legit like the attack speed meta right now for TSpirit. Just pump everything in onto this Medusa. Do they have a nullifier or anything like that on TSpirit right now? I think someone needs to go for an Ethereal Blade right now, just to prevent anything onto Kami, because it's not enough just to soak up the damage with your own body. I mean, Cloud, it looks like he might go for a blink into the Ghost Scepter for himself, but it's not really going to protect him all that much. I want to see him convert this one into the full D-Blade. Found the right one.
This time it's going to be targeting the Medusa, but the only slash as well. Look at it, mana and health, it's gone. Yatora just blows him up, ready to go for a second round. The retreat with the Blade Fury. Repair some of the damage. Look to go back in for the finishing blow.
Gotta be careful about going in too deep. No buyback coming through just yet. It's just the Aegis.
Yeah, Happy's damage is stacking up. Meanwhile, the backline Warwick's in a lot of trouble as well. Mystic Flare takes away the health. Lars gonna look for Happy as well. Collapses back alive with the Atos. Holds the Enchantress into place. When's the buyback gonna come out from Kami? When do they feel like they need to force it from the Medusa? They don't have Warwick
There it is.
to rejoin the fray. Kami's gonna look to use it now, but isn't even gonna be able to do anything. Base is falling from Yatora. He's just gonna turn. Couple of swipes. Gets rid of Happy. Cloud's in trouble now as well. They're crumbling on Hydra. Nothing they're gonna be able to do. A double lasso. Gets Kami. Means Yatora can go to work, but the disarm's there. There's no damage that Kami's gonna be able to pump out. Techies a drop. TSpirit. Again, game one has been a difficult time for them in their past couple of series, but this game against HYDRA was absolutely beautiful once we got towards the mid game.